Well, cheers and how do you do, buckaroos, and how the heck are you? As I try to get my music turned back on here at the Whiskey Whisperer Pub. Got some Dylan. Stuck inside a mobile with the Memphis Blues again. Anyway, I've done a video for this before as I get down near to the end of my bottle here, as you see. But I thought I'd do one more because why? Well, I just found my damn glass. I recently unpacked this glass. It's probably been packed up for, I don't know, probably a decade now. So finally I've been trying to go through stores and unpacking stuff. That's been packed up for many years. Anyway, Four Roses bourbon glass. So with the Four Roses single malt, this is the Doctor's Orders blend. Let me let you take a look at that label there. Let you look at that so you can kind of get an idea. But I got that in the way. There we go. Well, sure biscuit. Not want to cooperate with me. There we go. Let you look at that. It's 100 proof bourbon, not a barrel strength. Man, these store picks are barrel proof. This one is not. But for the price point, you can't beat it. It was a damn fine whiskey. I bought it back in March, so it's lasted me a little bit. I remember talking with the owner, Mike, and he was telling me that they wanted a spicy blend. So they did pick a blend that was 35% rye, so it's a high rye blend. But you not only get the rye spice from this, it's got a high barrel spice as well that you really feel towards the end. Trendy right now are wheated bourbons. Everybody wants a wheated bourbon. Wheated bourbons are a little sweeter. They've got velvety or silky mouthfeel. And they're very popular and trendy right now. I personally like a traditional, bourbon with rye as a secondary grain because the corn, a bourbon has to be 51% corn. That corn has a certain amount of sweetness. The rye, the wheat does make a nice, easy drinking bourbon. It's sweet. It's got a nice silky mouthfeel, but it doesn't have that contrasting spice that rye gives to you. So excuse me while I scratch my nose. To be stuck inside a mobile with these Memphis Blues again. Oh, it's a great tune. It's a classic. I don't know how anybody can doubt that Dylan was one of the best songwriters of our time. Certainly one of the best of his generation, if nothing else. Some of his songs, like this one, were deemed to be a little pretentious. Possibly so. But it doesn't mean they're not brilliant. Tangled Up in Blue was another one that kind of labeled pretentious, and it was one of my favorite songs of all time. Just certain songs would just, whoever you are, there are certain songs that would just speak to you in a certain manner. For me, Tangled Up in Blue, this one really hit me in a certain place. A lot of spice on the nose, along with some vanilla, some toffee. I feel like I'm feeling some dark fruit notes, like a candy date-like note as well. Memphis Blues again. Oh. So as I wrap up this particular Sunday, as I do this video, my fantasy football is not doing well as we speak. But I've got 4 players going tomorrow, so we'll see. My only hope is I've got a lot of reliance on the one thing I did wrong, or right, depending on how things go, is I put a lot of reliance on one team. I've got 4 players on one team going tomorrow, so if they do well, I'll do well. If the team doesn't do well, I'm not going to do well. Last year, I had 3 particular players do extremely well, and then I had Todd Gurley, Greg Zuerlein, the kicker, and Jared Goff, who there wasn't a whole lot expected from. But I also had Cam Newton. But over the course of the season, Goff got me more points than Newton did, so. So anyway, I have a lot of reliance on the Rams. Some of it's sentimental. I'm an old school Rams fan. I go back to the fearsome foursome days, the Roman Gabriel days. As Boys Are Back in Town plays. I was with them when they were in LA Rams. I followed them to St. Louis and back to LA. I don't care. Did you Kansas City move? No, I don't care. That's my team. It's going to be my team regardless. They can play Tim fucking Buck too. I don't care. I started with the Rams and the Dodgers. I'm going to die that way. Anyway. I don't get people, man. Nobody's got any loyalty these days. You know, they got 100 different teams depending on who wins. Hey, man, anybody can pull for a winning team. You want to show me you got some loyalty? Tell me, go pull for a team that you know it's going to be 4-12 every year. And that's what was my Rams for a long damn time. Oh, excuse me, I want to scratch my nose. Before they won the Super Bowl, and then they had that stretch after. Of course, one of the guys in the league is an old school Browns fan. Die hard, so I mean, I admire a guy like that. Team 0-16 last year. Hey, he's a Browns fan. That's outstanding. That's a real football fan. That's not a bandwagoner. I remember that year the Rams won the Super Bowl. They went 6-0. I remember being at a sports bar called Fox and Hound here in town. That's no longer there. It was like 2 or 3 weeks in the season. I was the only damn Rams fan. I mean, the only one. The only one. After they were 6-0, I remember they had a news crew out there. There's a whole bunch of people out there with Rams jerseys on. You knew weren't there a game or two ago. Oh, yeah, they're interviewing these guys. Oh, yeah, we've been a Rams fan since, yesterday. Anyway, no loyalty. You wonder why the country's in the state we're in today? That's because we got people with no frickin' loyalty whatsoever in it. Anyway, with no conviction, no backbone, no spine. Anyway. But I digress. Let me show you that four roses. I was thinking beer there for a second. 4 roses. There you go, single barrel. If you ever get a chance to get to Doctor's Orders, it's an outstanding liquor store in Rogers, Arkansas. It's actually it's barely in Rogers. It's right as you're heading into Rogers. If you're coming from, Missouri. Hell, man, it's less than a 2-hour drive from where I sit in Springfield. I mean, more people ought to take a drive out there. I mean, there's some great liquor stores, great breweries out there. And then they have some brews out there that we don't get here yet. So then you have some Arkansas, but the brewery I work for, Saddlebach. There's Ozarks Beer Co. There's a lot of great beers that aren't across the state line yet. Hell, you only got to drive an hour and a half, 2 hours to get to them. I mean, why wouldn't you? Sometimes Springfieldians get so set in. Oh, I don't want to go that far. That's just a 2-hour damn drive. It's a day trip, man. Get the stick out your ass, get in the car, drive for an hour and a half. No, I mean, or stay in there. I mean, look, you've got, in Bentonville, you've got, actually, Bike Rack's in Rogers now, but that's not Bike Rack, but Bentonville Brewery's in Rogers right now. But you got Bike Rack Brewing out there. Rogers, you've got, Bentonville Brewery's currently in Rogers, but they're going to go back, I guess, shortly. Bike Rack's worth a trip to Bentonville for this. They got one of the best brewers in the state out there, Josiah Moody, who's freaking outstanding. But yeah, you get into Rogers, you got New Province, Ozarks Beer Co., Bentonville Brewing. I mean, there's a lot of great brewers out there, man. You get into Springdale, Coors got satellite locations everywhere. Saddlebach's still around. They are up for sale, as I've noticed, but there's still a production brewery still making beer. From what I understand, the owner wants to get out of the brewery side of it. He has that restaurant on the other side that he'd still like to keep a hold of, I think, the way I understand it. in his current situation, he'd like to get rid of the brewing. Boy, if I won the lottery, damn. Just not that there. If I had the money to open a brewery, there are more state-of-the-art breweries to open. But I would like to. I would buy that one if I had the money. For sentimental reasons. Once because I worked there, and two because of the people that are there. They've got. I mentioned Josiah Moody out of Bike Rack, but Blaine, the head brewer out there at Saddleblock, is an amazing brewer. And if he was ever let loose to brew the stuff he's capable of brewing, that brewery could do some amazing things. He really has an affinity for Belgian brews. And if he was allowed to do that, man, there was no telling what that brewery became capable of, in my particular opinion. But anyway, there's some great liquor stores. There's Elkhorn Liquor in Garfield. That's less than an hour and a half from Springfield. But you get just about to Rogers. You've got Doctor's Orders, which has a great selection, decent prices for the size of the store that it is, and they're friendly and knowledgeable people. That's one reason I like Doctor's Orders. Got Micah and the staff there are just freaking amazing. One of my favorite craft breweries in any town is Brick Street. They're in Rogers. Brick Street, right downtown Rogers. Mike Rooney. Mike Rooney is. I miss Mike Rooney. I'll tell you what. I miss a lot of things about not being in Rogers anymore, but I miss Mike Rooney a lot. He was a great guy. He had just introduced me to a lot of people out there, and he's just one of the great, characters of Rogers, Arkansas. So if you ever happen to go there, you've got to hit Brick Street. They have, I don't know, anywhere between, I think they usually have, about 16 beers on tap, maybe 20, I don't know. I don't know how many he's got, but it's all Arkansas craft, right? So, I mean, if you're in the area and you don't have time to hit all the breweries, go there and you can get a nice sample of most of the craft breweries in town. Anyway, supposed to be talking whiskey, so let me get back to it, huh? This is a damn fine whiskey. Four Roses. I think Four Roses for the money is one of the best economical buys. Whether you're putting the regular bourbon, the small batch, or the single barrel, like this one is. If you look at other brands, versions of the same, Four Roses is going to cost you less than most of them, and the quality is as good, if not better than most. So there you go. I am Tom the Whiskey Whisperer, Whiskey Evangelist, prolific whiskey drinker, fair wisdom, and all-around good guy. As Donnie Iris, Leah finishes up. And I can't find the damn, there you go. Now you know I'm not really in that pub because I had to move that prop to stop the video.